Chorus, directed by Mr. Ken Howard. So please give him a nice applause.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Ken Howard. My principal is Mrs. Hattie Giles. We'll sing for you 3 Negro spirituals. The first, I Hear a Voice of Praying by Houston Bright.
You can imagine.
Now we know that Dr. Angelou is not feeling well. So all of the flowery words we have, and to my good commissioner, I'm sure that we will know how to limit our remarks on these proclamations. And I'm just going to say, now therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Broward County, Florida, that the board hereby designates Saturday, February 19, 1994, as Dr. Maya Angelou Day, and the month of February 1994
Thank you, Sam. I was kind of hoping our guest had arrived about just 10 minutes later, and I was going to tell all those people who plan to run against me that I'm a personal friend of Dr. It's a little too early for me to tell that. No time. My colleague, Commissioner Portes indicated that we're going to make it a little short. We're not going to read these long proclamations because we know how you feel. Let me just end it by saying that on this day, February 1994, the city has designated Black History Month in Pompano Beach, Florida, and that on this same day, February 1994, we do hereby declaim this day Dr. Maya Angelou Day in our city of Pompano Beach, Florida, and we wish you that. I told you we were personal friends, right?
To the Lord, and I won't turn back, no, I will go, I shall go, I'll see what the end is going to be. She does not know her beauty. She thinks her brown body has no glory. If she could dance naked under palm trees and see her image in the river, she would know. But there are no palm trees on the street, and dishwater gives back no images. Still, I open my mouth to the Lord, and I won't turn back, no, I will go, I shall go. I'll see what the end is going to be. Once riding in old Baltimore, head filled, heart filled with glee, I saw a Baltimorean keep looking straight at me. Now, I was 8 and very small, and she was no whit bigger. And so I smiled. But she stuck out her tongue and called me Nick. 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 I saw the whole of Baltimore from May until December. And of all the things that happened there, that's all that I remember. Still, I open my mouth to the Lord, and I won't turn back, no. I will go, I shall go. This is for a woman I know. She thinks that up in heaven, her class lies late and snores, while black cherubs rise at 7 to do celestial chores. I open my mouth to the Lord. Miss Rosie, when I see you, you black, brown, beige, red, yellow, white sack of a woman. I said, when I see you, Miss Rosie, dressed up in your dreams like last week's grocery list. I say, when I see you, Miss Rosie, in your old man's shoes with the big toes cut out. I say, when I see you, Miss Rosie, you who used to be the prettiest gal in Georgia. Mother, she used to be called Georgia Rose. I say, when I see you, through your destruction I stand up, and I open my mouth to the Lord, and I won't turn back, no, I will go. I shall go now. I'll see what the end is going to be. Thank you. You know how you honor me. I accepted your invitations as an honor. I accepted your invitation as an honor. I thank you very much. When I see you come out in such beautiful array, looking like what African-American old people used to call us, bouquets of roses. When I see you looking so beautiful and variegated in your colors and your ages, you honor me, and I thank you for it. This very first song, I will go, I shall go, I'll see what the end is going to be, is pertinent and apropos for this particular 20th celebration. It is, because I know that when this library was planned and begun 20 years ago, somebody had to say, I will see what the end is going to be. Amen. Somebody had to believe, because I'm certain there were a number of non-believers. There were a whole lot of people who said, you mean in this neighborhood? You kidding me? A library among people who don't read? What? In this neighborhood can't be. But someone said, I will go, I shall go, I'll see what the end is going to be. You know, I don't have to remind you, just because this is African American History Month, but I will, that I remember a time when there was Black Negro History Day. I remember that. I am what the French call of a certain age. Oh yeah. And then I remembered how happy we were when we had Negro History Week. Look here. Oh no, we were out there. And now we have African American History Month. And it starts sometime in January and ends late up in March. However, in truth, what we need to have is none at all. Our blessing, our prayer, our hope, our aspiration is to have no African American History Month. It will be only when African American history is woven into the tapestry, which is American. All right. We must have it as soon as possible, so that these small people, the young folks, black and white, Spanish-speaking and Native American, Asian and Aleut, all of them can start to read American history and read about blacks and Jews and Spanish-speaking and Native American and women and Aleut. That's it. That's what we have to have. But until that time, until that time, we have this African American History Month, and we must have it. You all know that the first Africans were brought to this country in 1619. Now, I don't mean to cast aspersions on my white brothers and sisters and nephews and nieces in the audience, but that was 1 year before the Mayflower docked. We have undergone experiences too bizarre, too horrible to have been included in Alex Haley's phenomenon, the book Roots, or in the television phenomenon Roots, in which I played Kunta Kinte's grandmother. Too bizarre. And yet here we are, still here. Amazingly still here. Today we're upwards of 45 million. And that is a conservative estimate. I know people who swear there are more than 45 million black people in the Baptist church. They're not even counting backsliders and AME and CME and the 3 black atheists in the world. So we are still here. I suggest at some point we ought to look at ourselves and realize that long before we were here in Broward County, there were people who said, I will go, I shall go, I'll see what the end is going to be, or we wouldn't even be here. Understand that African American people were obliged for a long time to laugh when they weren't tickled and to scratch when they didn't itch. And those gestures have come down to us as Uncle Tomming and Aunt Jemima-ing. I suggest to you, men and women, that we don't stop often enough to wonder how that black man's throat must have been closing on him. You know, when you want to cry and you hold yourself, the muscles get taut. Every time he said, yes, the boss, you sure must be right. I sure must be stupid. Yes, sir. So he could make enough money so he could go home and feed somebody. Or that black woman who said, no, ma'am, Miss Ann, you didn't hurt me when you slapped me. I ain't tender-hearted, sure ain't. So she could make enough money so she could go home and send somebody to Fisk, or Tuskegee, or to Spelman, or Morehouse, or Howard, or Morgan State, or Hampton Institute. I don't think we stopped long enough to stop and wonder and let the children know, darling, you have been loved. People can only live in direct relation to the heroes and sheroes they have. And we have been loved. And it is imperative that we remember and say it to the children. Darling, you have been loved. I wrote a song for a woman who rides a bus in New York City. When the bus stops too abruptly, she laughs. When this bus stops slowly, she laughs. I watched that woman for almost 8 months. I thought, you know, if you don't know black features, you would think she was laughing, but she wasn't laughing. She was simply extending her lips and making a sound. She said, if the bus missed somebody, if it picked up somebody, and I thought, oh, I see. That's that survival apparatus. Okay. That's how she paid for me. Okay, I see that. So I used that poem with a poem, I wrote a poem for her, and I used it with Mr. Paul Lawrence Dunbar's poem called Masks, and my own poem for old black men. This is love. When I think about myself, I almost laugh myself to death. My life has been one great big joke, a dance that's walked, a song was spoke. I laugh so hard, I nearly choke when I think about myself. 70 years in these folks' worlds, the child I works for calls me girl. And I say, yes, ma'am, for working's sake. I'm too proud to bend and too poor to break, so I laugh. until my stomach aches when I think about myself. And my folks can make me split my side. I laughed so hard I nearly died. The tales they tell sound just like lying. They grow the fruit, but eat the rind. I laugh until I start crying when I think about myself and my folks and the little children. But then we wear the mask that grins and lies. It shades our cheeks and hides our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts, we smile and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but oh my God, our tears to thee from tortured souls arise, and we sing. But the clay is vile beneath my feet, and long the mile. Oh, I'm sorry. Let the world think otherwise. We wear the mask. My fathers sit on benches. Their flesh count every plank. The slats leave dents of darkness deep in their withered flank, and they nod like broken candles, all waxed and burnt profound. They say, but sugar, it was our submission, and that made your world go round. There in those pleated faces, I see the auction block, the chains and slavery's coffles, the whip, the lash, the stock. My father speak in voices that shred my fact and sound. They say, but sugar, it was our submission, and that made your world go round. They lied to shield their crime, and then they shuffled through their dreams. They stepped and fetched the country and wrote the blues in screens. I understand their meaning. It could and did derive from living on the ledge of death. They kept my race alive by wearing the mask. When you hear out of the mouths of ignorant people that there is no love in the black community, you can say, get away from me. Get away from me. Anytime anybody's willing to let himself or herself be seen at the most base level, hoping that by doing so, he or she can ascertain and be certain of the survival of yet another human being, that is a demonstration of love. All right. Well, and romantic love, you know, it's sad, but when a number of non-black people, and some black people, write about black people and romantic love because they're so erroneously informed, they would have us believe that white people make love, and black, brown, beige, red, and yellow people just have sex. And that all the time and always successfully. Not into the poetry, look into the poetry, look into the library, men and women. Go to this library or a library and ask to see African American poetry in the 19th century. Here's a shred from a folk song in which a black man spoke of the woman he loved. He said, the woman I love is fat and chocolate to the bone. And every time she shakes, some skinny woman loses her home. Here also, Again, 19th century, shred from a folk song. This found its way into Mr. W.C. Handy's 20th Century Blues. The woman sang, "He's blacker than midnight, teeth like flags of truth. He's the finest thing in the whole St. Louis. They say the blacker the berry. Sweeter is the dew." Now that is romantic love poetry. It's folk poetry, admittedly. But listen to some of the written poetry that you can find here in this library, celebrating its 20th year. Listen to this. This is Georgia Douglas Johnson. Your librarian can direct you to her. 19th century black lady poet. She wrote, "I want to die while you love me, while yet you hold me fair, while laughter lies upon my lips and lights are in my hair, yeah. I want to die while you love me. Who would care to live till love had nothing more to ask and nothing more to give? No, I want to die while you love me and bear to that still bed your kisses, turbulent, unspent, to warm me while I'm dead." James Weldon Johnson, no relation, writing about 1912, wrote, "Honey, jump back." 1892, he wrote, "Seen my lady home last night, jump back, honey, jump back. Held her hand and squeezed it tight, jump back, honey, jump back. Heard her sigh that little sigh, saw that light gleam in her eye, saw a smile go flitting by, I say, jump back, honey. Woo! The mockingbird was singing fine, jump back, honey, jump back. And my heart was beating so that when I reached my lady's door, I just couldn't bear to go and say, jump back, honey. So I put my arms around her waist and jump back, honey, jump back. Raised her lips and took a taste, jump back, honey, jump back. I said, love me, honey, do you love me true? You love me as well as I love you? And then she answered, of course I do, but jump back. Against them. And so a number of young black men believe that. And they go on and act out upon this erroneous idea. Mr. Dunbar again, writing in 1892, wrote a poem in which a black man spoke of his son. I would encourage everybody, black and white, Spanish-speaking, native, everybody, memorize this poem. Go to the library, get a copy of this poem. Read it to some little black boy. Read it to some little white boy. Read it to some sparkling eyes. Come to your papa and sit on his knee. What you been doing, sir? Making sand pies? Look at that bib, you as dirty as me. Look at those hands. That's molasses, I bet. Come here, Miranda, clean off his hands. Boy, the bees are gonna get you and eat you up yet, being so sticky and sweet. Goodness lands. Little brown baby with sparkling eyes, who's papa's darling? Who's papa's child? Who is it never once tries to be cross or to lose that smile? Where did you get those teeth? Boy, you a scandal. Where did the dimples come from in your chin? Papa don't know you. I believe you're a tramp. Mama, here come on some old straggler around here trying to get in. We don't want no stragglers hanging around here. Let's throw him out the door to the big booger man. I know he's hanging around here somewhere. Booger man, come in the door. Here's the little boy you can have for these. Mama and Papa don't want him no more. Just gobble him up from his head to his... I knew that would make you hug me up close. You go away, old booger. You shan't have this boy. He ain't no straggler, no stranger. Of course he's Papa's darling and sweetheart and joy. Come to your pallet, honey. Go to your rest. I wish you could always know ease and clear skies. Papa wish you could stay just a babe on his breast. You little brown baby with sparkling eyes. I was asked today, what is it at its worst? At its worst, it's pretension. It's in 40s and 50s, trying to escape the potato blight, or if they came from Eastern Europe, trying to escape the pogroms, the little and large murders, arriving at Ellis Island having their names changed to something utterly unpronounceable, or if they came from South America, trying to find a place that would hold all the people, all the faces, all the Adams and Eves and their countless generations, or if they came from Asia in the 1850 belly, in the filthy hatches of slave ships, and in their own and in each other's excrement and urine. They have paid for each of us already. Already. All we really have to do is prepare ourselves, our minds and our hearts, so we can pay for someone else who is yet to come. That's all we have to do. Yeah, said to you, why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard, just cause I laugh. As if I have gold mines, digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words, you can cut me with your lies, you can kill me with your hatefulness, but just like life, I'll rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance? As if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs. Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so,